Hello everyone. Welcome to this new session on birds. In this session, we'll get a short introduction to the world of birds. As we know, there are so many birds in the world. Even if you ask a non-birder or who doesn't watch birds and look at them, even they will say that they have seen many different species of birds. So there are so many in the bird, they're colorful and they are actually everywhere. And in fact, birds are one of the creatures where they have occupied all the continents, the seven continents in the world, from Arctic to Antarctic, everywhere. It's not just all the seven continents, but different habitats in all these continents. We find them near human habitation, rainforest, desert areas, the cold desert, oceans, sea, rivers, you name it, you'll find birds. They are everywhere. So let's look at the characteristics of a bird. What makes them a bird? Feathers, right? This unique thing is only with birds, the feathers. No other creature has feathers apart from birds. The skeleton of the bird is very light. Have you held a chicken or a pigeon in your hand? So big, the chicken, and it's still light. If you hold the same size a puppy or a cat, they are heavier. They are light because the bones of the birds are hollow. It's not like other bones. Other characteristics: birds have wings, can fly. Almost all birds can fly, except few birds, they don't fly. And they don't have teeth, they are toothless. And it's modified into beak. They lay eggs. All birds lay eggs. Mammals, they give birth to live ones. Reptiles, they lay eggs and the young ones hatch from the eggs. But there are few reptiles, some snakes, which give birth to live ones. Whereas birds, they lay eggs and the eggs hatch and the young ones come out. They have high metabolism. Metabolism is a process where the food you consume goes through a complex process and it's converted into energy. So this is called metabolism. So they have high metabolism, due to which they have very high heartbeat. Let's see. So average heartbeat of a bird is 280 beats per minute. The small hummingbird is 1200 heartbeats per minute, whereas humans it's just 60 to 100 heartbeats per minute. Birds also have very high body temperature. We have some 36 to 37 degree centigrade, whereas birds have 41 degree centigrade. So they are very warm. It is said that birds evolved from reptiles over 160 million years ago. And these reptiles had started to grow feathers and said that they took to flight with the help of these feathers. Now also, you see the same characteristics what reptiles have. The scales are found in birds as well. Especially, you'll notice them in their feet. Some of the body parts. We learn in some of the sessions ahead about the body parts which will help us in identification. But I would like you all to pause this video now and just to go through some of the body parts so that they can get used to the names of these body parts. Feathers, like I said before, they're so unique. Uh, what are these functions of the feathers? Of course, it helps them in flight, helps them in body temperature, because as you know, they are found all over the world in extreme cold places where temperature is so cold we can't survive without very warm care. Whereas birds like penguins and other birds can survive in that extreme cold condition with the help of feathers. And there's so many different kind of feathers and different layers of feathers. Also helps them in courtship display, like the peacock. You know, they get the long tail feathers, which help them to attract its mate. What are the characteristics of a feather? They are light but strong. They're flexible yet tough. Have you held a feather in your hand? Have you felt it? It's so light, and if you twist, it will turn because it's flexible, but they're tough. Have you tried to tear it open, tear it apart? You can't. It's so strong. And also, they have this hollow spine here in the center, which makes them very light. And it is said that birds may have something like 10,000 to over 25,000 feathers in them. And with so many feathers they have to regularly maintain them. So they do this by preening, where they clean, check, and arrange their feathers. They regularly take bath to clean them, and they also take bath in dust. We call them dust bathing, not just to clean feathers, but also to remove parasites. Plumages. Plumages are nothing but feathers, the arrangement of feathers over the bird's skin. Different color patterns, different layers, these are all plumages. And birds replace feathers every year. It doesn't happen at a time, but especially the flight feathers are replaced alternative, because if they drop all the feathers, they'll become flightless. However, some birds like ducks and some geese, when they're breeding, uh, they spend a lot of time in the water taking care of the young ones. So that time they lose all their flight feathers and they become flightless for a very short time of the year, and they grow it back. And some get the plumages for reasons like to blend well in their surroundings, like this nightjar, to be camouflaged so that they don't get detected by the predators. And of course, again, comes back to courtship. They get this elaborate colors, long feathers, short feathers, especially in the breeding plumages, breeding season, so they can attract their mate. The ability to fly among birds has made them to spread all over the world. Uh, that's why you find them everywhere. And their four limbs are modified into wings, and they have feathers which helps them, the different shape, different size of feathers help them to fly. Aerodynamic body, so they can go effortlessly fly through the wind. And they have very large chest muscles, uh, which is they're very strong. So it helps them to take off and flap the wing for so long so that they can fly. And of course, light body weight. And there are different kinds of flight, which you learn in other sessions. For example, gliding or soaring, where they don't flap the wings, they just spread them open and they glide. Or soaring, when the hot air rises, the thermal current, they use that with the open wings to soar. And of course, some birds just flap their wings and fly in the straight line. Beak or the bill, they're so unique. And if you have noticed, all birds don't have same shape or same size of beak or a bill. By looking at the beak, you can identify, you can tell what they feed on. That's how it's designed. And you have their feet, leg, which helps them in many places. to perch, that is to hold and sit, and you have like to catch prey. Eagles and owls do that. They have feet which helps them to catch their prey. Some birds like woodpeckers, which helps them to climb the tree trunk, and of course the ducks with the webbed feet, which helps them to paddle or swim. The sense of sight, vision, is extremely good. Almost all birds have very good vision. There are very few birds who don't have a good sense of sight. Otherwise, almost all birds can see very well, and they can even see many different colors which we can't see. And also, arrangement of eyes differs from species to species, where they are and what they feed on. For example, if you look at here, eagles, they have big eyes, especially front facing, because they need to target and chase their prey to catch. Whereas other birds, like dove, pigeon, or barbet, they have their eyes on the side, so that while they're busy feeding, they can keep an eye for predators when they attack, so that they can escape. So here in this illustration, you can see the dove or the bird, where the eyes are on the side, their vision is more to the side. Whereas the bird of prey, eagle or owl, they have more vision in the front, then they hardly see anything much the back. Sense of hearing. Many birds can hear very well, especially owls. Though they can see well at night, they have very large eyes, so they can see, and also more number of cells present in the eye compared to the other birds. They can see well in the low light. But owl's sense of hearing is extremely good, because many owls hunt by the sound made by its prey. We have some birds called swiftlets, edible nest swiftlets. They live inside dark caves, because that's where they make their nests. So these birds have echolocation like bats, similar to bats. Because they can't see anything, they rely on their echolocation to fly through the dark caves where they make their nests. Sense of smell, they have very poor sense of smell. Almost all the birds, they're not great. However, some birds which live in the oceans, like albatross, they have very good sense of smell. Birds like kiwi, they have excellent sense of smell. And there are vultures found in America, what we call New World vultures. They have excellent smell. So very few species, otherwise birds don't have a good sense of, a great sense of smell. Their digestive system is quite unique. Many birds, they have something called crop, because you might have seen birds like pigeons or chicken, when they're feeding, they quickly pick up their grains, their food, and they store them in this place called crop. This is like a storage area. And then it goes to stomach, to gizzard. Gizzard is the place where it gets, in a simple way, it gets chewed. How we chew our food in the mouth, that process happens in the gizzard. Birds like chicken and doves and other things, they eat a lot of grains. Uh, Sometimes stones are found here, which helps them to grind these food for them to further digestion. Breeding. So for birds, almost all species of birds, they have something called breeding season. That's the time they look for the mate, or the couple start to breed. And they do many different ways. But before that, the time of the year, the daylight, the season will tell them this is the time to breed. Many birds start singing, establishing their territory, so that they can breed there and to attract the mate. They call, they sing, they're very vocal during the breeding season. We also know that there is something called courtship display. It's not getting beautiful tail feathers like peacock or colorful feathers, but also doing this display of dancing. Look at this bird, a bird of paradise found in Papua New Guinea, doing the male doing this display. He has a different plumage than the female here, but that's not enough. He has to do a beautiful dance to attract a female. And once they mated, or while mating, the females and sometimes males, they start building nests. In many species, both male female build nest. It can be as elaborate as a weaver bird nest, or even a broken tree, the tree trunk hollow where there's some space. Owls make their nests there. Some make nest using mud, small, they collect mud and make nest on the ceilings. And the female will lay the eggs. And these eggs come in different colors and sizes depending on birds. And some are very well camouflaged, especially the birds which lay eggs on the ground. And of course, the females sit on the eggs, incubate them, and the incubation of the eggs will take place depending on the species from 8 days to 80 days. It depends on species. And when the young ones hatch, usually the female will take care, or in some bird species, both male and female take care by feeding them till they grow up. There are some species of birds, especially which make their nest on the ground. Uh, as soon as they are born, these birds, which lay their eggs on the ground, the young ones can walk out of the nest, and the adults take them, feeding them away from the nest. Whereas many other species, the eggs hatch and the young ones are pink, eyes are not open, and they're helpless. And it will take many days for them to grow and come out of the nests. However, there are birds like cuckoos which don't build any nest. After mating, the female cuckoo will find a nest of other birds. Here you can see a cuckoo has laid its egg in a warbler nest. And the cuckoo chick is the first one to hatch, and it will throw all the eggs out, and the warbler thinks cuckoo it's its chick. So cuckoo doesn't do take care of the young ones. They don't build their nest. They just lay their eggs in other birds' nest. Bird migration. You might have heard about bird migration, that some birds migrate very far to reach a different location. So usually what happens, what we see is birds from northern hemisphere during winter, when it gets very cold, they fly down, they come down to into the center or to the southern hemisphere, especially in winter. This is called bird migration. And they do that because it's very cold up in the north and they can't find food. So they fly down to the tropics or further south where the temperature, the weather is perfect for them for finding food and to survive. This is called bird migration. And there's so much to know about bird migration, and that's fantastic. Uh, the bar-tailed godwit, this particular bird, has broken the record of flying non-stop from Alaska to New Zealand in just 8 days, covering over 10,000 kilometers. Can you imagine flying over the ocean because there are no islands, they don't land, and they fly non-stop day and night. And it is said that these birds even sleep in flight. It's fantastic. We have so many birds in the world, and their population, their diversity is disappearing. We need to protect them. Why? What are the threats? Hunting. Hunting of birds have led to some species to totally go extinct. All birds in India are protected. So hunting and also collecting them as pets is illegal in India, and pet trade all over the world also have made birds disappear. Pollution is a major factor in birds getting disappeared. These are the threats, and all are man-made. The most of the worst threat is the habitat destruction. Habitat is the place they live, they breed, they find their food, it's their home. If that gets destroyed, the birds disappear. And all these are man made, like the forest fires, or for the development, you destroy their habitat and the birds disappear, they will never come back. And these are permanent destruction. So we need to protect them uh, whichever way we can. There are a lot of efforts being put. There are very few success stories. We need more. For example, here, Nagaland Amur falcons, this small bird of prey, they're very small falcons. They come from northeastern region of Asia, that is Russia. uh, every year, lakhs, hundreds of thousands, lakhs of them, they fly, come to India, and they stay in a place in Nagaland for a few weeks. And from there, they fly over rest part of the India and fly across Arabian Sea and reach South Africa, where they spend few months and they fly back a different route. So, till few years back, what used to happen when they used to come to Nagaland in so much in number, people used to trap them, catch them, and kill them and sell them for food to eat. So many bird watchers, conservationists got together with the help of local communities and the forest officials, and they started to protect them. Now nobody hunts them there, or it's come down. With all these effort, the birds are back in big numbers, and it's a fantastic a spectacle to watch. So this is one of the success story, and we need more like this uh, to protect birds. So some interesting facts. There's so many. We don't have much time. Uh, no, the largest wingspan. This is the wandering albatross, where from this tip to tip is around 12 feet. Can you imagine such a big bird? And the bird itself is not big, but the wingspan is huge. And these birds, the albatross, can fly for 4 to 5 years over the ocean looking for food and flying there, soaring there, feeding there, and they don't come to the land at all for 4 to 5 years. Ostrich is the largest bird, over 100 kilos and 7 feet tall. And you have the smallest bird, which is the bee hummingbird, which is the size of a honeybee, very small, just 2 grams and just 6 centimeters. Can you imagine how small it is? And these hummingbirds also have wing beats of 50 to 200 per second. So fast they can flap their wings in 1 second. And you have falcons, peregrine falcon, which is the fastest diving bird, which can reach up to 380 kilometer per hour speed. And imagine going without food for more than 120 days. This is the empire penguins in Antarctica. In winter, the female will lay egg and give it to the male to incubate, and they go off feeding for 3 months. And for that 3 months in very cold weather, these male emperor penguins stay taking care of the eggs without eating. And there are more than 10,700 species of birds in 245 families, and in India, we have over 1,340 species of birds in 120 families. So, with so many families found in India of all these birds, I just want to give few examples of these families. So the birds like quails, pheasants like the jungle fowl or the partridge, all put in one family. And birds like ducks, teals, swans, geese, they come under a family of their own. Egrets, herons, bitterns, they come under their own family. All birds of prey, what we call raptors, eagles, hawk eagles, vultures, harriers, sparrowhawks, all these come under their family. Girls and terns fall under their own family. Pigeons and dove has their own family. Crows, magpies, tree pies, they all come under a family. Then you have hoopoe. Hoopoe is only one in its family. So these we call monotypic. That means there's only one in that particular family. So with this, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I wish you all get more interested in birds and go look for them. Okay. Thank you very much.